Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tanner Davis and welcome back to another WWE predictions video. It's the biggest one of the year. Today, we will be predicting the WrestleMania 41 match card. Both night 1 and night 2. We've got a big list of matches. Night 1 has 7 matches. Night 2 has 6 matches. But there's one match that's left off that night 2 card that we are going to predict here tonight. Randy Orton has yet to have a WrestleMania opponent. And I have called in his rumored WrestleMania opponent to be the guest host of the WrestleMania 41 predictions. Please welcome C-Day! Thanks for having me, Tanner. I have perfected my RKO so that I'm not taking one. Sunday, night 2 at WrestleMania. That was supposed to be a joke to get you on screen. Wait, I'm not actually fighting Randy Orton? Can you not be cringe? We're trying to do a bit, bruh. We will get into the opponent who we think Randy Orton will face at WrestleMania 41 since Kevin Owens is out with a neck injury. But we're going to get right into the first match because we have a lot of matches on the card. We're going to start with the Saturday match card, night 1, the first match. Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano. You know, there's a lot of backlash, a lot of controversy with this El Grande Americano character. Some people think that he resembles a lot like Chad Gable. And for years, people have been wanting Chad Gable to get a singles push, to get a big singles match at WrestleMania. And this year, he just fell sick. He got a cold, came down with the sniffles. But he called in a good friend who he found while he was learning the dark arts of Lucha Libre. And El Grande Americano and Rey Mysterio challenged him to a match at WrestleMania. I guess Rey Mysterio feels threatened by this new luchador. I guess the greatest luchador of all time thinks that El Grande Americano has what it takes to beat Rey Mysterio. Otherwise, Rey Mysterio wouldn't have challenged him to a match if he didn't feel threatened. Right? Yeah, I just don't think he's the greatest luchador of all time. He's the greatest luchador. Get that corn out of my face! So there's been a lot of turmoil back and forth between American Made with the Creed brothers, Ivy Nile, and the LWO. They've been going back and forth for weeks, yada, yada, yada. It's been a long time. This is long-term booking. Chad Gable has kind of been at the throats of LWO ever since he was going to learn the dark arts of Lucha Libre. Regardless, this is going to be a fun match. It's a fun match on the card. Just like in WrestleMania 38, we had a lot of fun, wacky matches like Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Rey Mysterio, El Grande Americano. Alright, so with the flawless win, with the Elimination Chamber predictions, just no biggie. Even though you and Mr. Broccoli doubted me the whole time, y'all thought I was crazy. I'm going with the first prediction. The newcomer El Grande Americano, to me, gets this win. Like I said before, Rey Mysterio definitely feels threatened by this man, who people think is Chad Gable, even though they're not. They're totally unrelated because both men were on screen at the same time. Therefore, the rumor is put to bed. Chad Gable, El Grande Americano, two totally different people. But Rey Mysterio got the win last Monday against Julius Creed. That just leads me to believe that he's going to lose at WrestleMania. They give him the win. He gets the loss at WrestleMania. Hard to explain, but that's just WWE logic. El Grande Americano. If El Grande Americano were to win this match, it would not satisfy the fans' hunger for Chad Gable to win a singles match at WrestleMania. This isn't Chad Gable. This is El Grande Americano. Yeah, So as much as I want to go with El Grande Americano, I have to go with the better luchador. But let's run it back. WrestleMania 22, who did Rey Mysterio beat to win the world title? Chad Gable's predecessor, Kurt Angle. He's going to do it again nearly 20 years later and beat El Grande Americano. Rey Mysterio wins this match. But Kurt Angle is Jason Jordan's father. Oh, I don't care about that storyline. Illegitimate child. Last year, WWE signed arguably the biggest free agent at the time in the women's division in Jade Cargill. Jumping ship from the company that shall not be named, she debuted at the 2024 Royal Rumble and had a great reaction from the fans with a couple of eliminations showing that she belongs in the WWE. Well, people wanted her for a big singles push. However, when you are in the WWE, you've got to fit a formula, and she is coming from a company that is contrasted in a lot of ways in how they do things, how they run things over there. And so you've got to fit the mold. You've got to be trained to fit in that WWE formula. And so it took her a while to get into the singles run. When she debuted, she teamed up with Bianca Belair, won the women's tag team titles, and all of a sudden, just a few months back, I believe it was last year, she was found, broken bones, crashed on a car windshield. Nobody knew who the attacker was, but few months later, there was footage that showed Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez walking away from the scene in somewhat of a jovial manner. And so, while Jade Cargill was on the shelf, Naomi filled her shoes. Naomi and Bianca Belair defended the tag team titles multiple times and proved that they were a better tag team than Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, or in the eyes of Naomi. And so, months go by, Bianca and Naomi at the top of the women's tag team division. Elimination Chamber 2025. Naomi, Liv Morgan start off the match. All of a sudden you hear, a storm is coming. Jade Cargill returns. She's been on the shelf for months. She goes, she looks at Liv Morgan like she's about to attack her and pivots to Naomi. Attacking Naomi. The whole world is speculating, was Naomi the attacker? Jade Cargill says it was. The next SmackDown, Bianca Belair was interrogating Naomi, asked her, Naomi, did you do this? And Naomi admitted to it. And so Naomi had her big heel turn as Bianca Belair was crying and whatnot. Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber, which we'll talk about later on in the video. That is setting up our one-on-one contest. It will be Jade Cargill and Naomi. I see, Dave. Floor is yours. At the beginning of your explanation of this long-winded story, you said that people have been wanting a push for Jade Cargill in the singles realm in WWE. The only way for that to happen is if Jade Cargill can beat her mortal enemy right now in Naomi. So for me, to get the push that she deserves, and we've been waiting for, Jade Cargill wins this match. Jade Cargill just had a pretty big return. It seems wrong for her to lose to Naomi and stunt this big epic return that she's got. Jade Cargill is going to beat Naomi. Jade Cargill. Okay, so this match was really supposed to be on Raw. 2 weeks ago, New Day challenged the War Raiders for the World Tag Team Championships on Raw. It ended up ending in a disqualification in favor of the New Day. Xavier Woods brought a steel chair in. Ivar took it from him, hit him with the steel chair, referee saw it, no DQ, New Day wins, and Adam Pearce decided that the match was so good that it deserved to be on the WrestleMania card. And so we're having the War Raiders, your World Tag Team Champions, defending their titles against the New Day, who are heels. People have been complaining that WWE has stumped this New Day heel turn, that the momentum is going down. However, WWE can fix that. Put the titles on one of the greatest tag teams of all time in the WWE. The New Day is your new World Tag Team Champions. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods walking out with gold at WrestleMania to show Big E that they truly have what it takes. For me, the tag team division has been so underwhelming. People are saying that they love this tag team division that we're having now. I can't stand it. It is not fun to watch. I don't want to sit there and watch DIY and Motor City Machine Guns for the 15th time since Motor City Machine Guns debuted. I want something fun. I want it back to the era where tag teams were jumping off ladders for belts at WrestleMania. We just don't have that anymore. So now we have to have such a great match in the War Raiders and New Day Well, let's do something interesting, Tanner. Let's bring this tag team division back to life. The only way to do that is to put the titles on the newly heel-turned New Day. So for me, I'm going to agree with you. New Day has to win this match. As you know, LA Knight has had his fair share of dealings with the Bloodline. They've interfered in matches, they beat him up countless times, and when it came to the Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu #1 contenders for the United States Championship, Jacob Fatu didn't want the Bloodline anywhere near his match. Jacob Fatu ended up defeating Braun Strowman, and I believe it was a last man standing match, to be crowned #1 contender, and therefore is challenging LA Knight, your current United States Champion, at WrestleMania. Tanner, you know how much I love the megastar LA Knight. But right now, I'm loving Jacob Fatu. I love you, Fatu! I love you! You don't really love Solo anymore right now, though. Well, that's the thing. For us to continue to love Solo, a championship has to be brought back to the Bloodline. We have to have a Bloodline resurgence. They have to go back to the prestige they were with Roman. And it starts with the championship on Jacob Fatu. So for this match, I'm going to predict Jacob Fatu. So over the past few weeks, Jacob Fatu has been yelling at Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga to quit interfering in his matches. He can handle his business by himself. He's a big man. What's going to happen is, and to see Dave's defense, WWE recently has been loving putting titles on newcomers. Loving putting titles on people that are, it's their first title match. You saw it with Ethan Page in NXT. You saw it recently with Ricky Saints. I mean, they're loving it right now. And so, to see Dave's defense, Jacob Fatu is a pretty good pick. However, the storyline leads me to believe that the Bloodline is going to try to interfere in some way or fashion and cost Jacob Fatu the match, leaving LA Knight to retain his United States Championship. LA Knight, with everybody saying, yeah. Did I do that right? Mm-mm. You don't have aura like me, Chet. Are we at the main event yet? No. This is probably, to me, one of the most disappointing matches for WrestleMania. Not because the match is going to be bad, because the build-up has been very, very underwhelming. This had the opportunity to be a 5-star build-up. Charlotte Flair returned this year at the Royal Rumble, ended up winning the Royal Rumble, and challenging Tiffany Stratton, who many compare to Charlotte Flair, for the WWE Women's Championship. Charlotte was supposed to be face. She returned trying to be a good gal, saying that she persevered through injury and she's back for the people to win the championship. Well, she got booed out the arena, basically. And so WWE flip-flop, pivoted like they always do, said, hey, you need to be a heel, Charlotte. Tiffy got the momentum. We're going to keep her face. We're going to let this roll over and see what y'all can do. And it's been off script. Kaiser's been in Charlotte Flair's DMs. And Charlotte Flair can't keep a husband. This, that, and the other. They've taken personal shots at each other. Tiffy has too high pitch of a voice. But the match itself is probably going to be one of the best matches of the night, technically speaking. Charlotte was one of the best in-ring performers ever as a woman. Tiffany Stratton is beyond great. This match could really be great. It's just unfortunate that the build-up has not reached that level. The winner of this match, and if the match build-up was great, I would go with the challenger. But due to Charlotte Flair messing up everything along the line, I'm giving it to my girl, Tiffany Stratton, to retain. It's Tiffy time at Mania. Tiffany Stratton. At the end of this video, we're going to be at a point where we can predict if history is going to be made. If a 17th championship is going to be won. But for this match in particular, the person that has the record for the most championships wants his daughter to beat his record. And the only way she can beat that record is if she beats Tiffany Stratton night 1 at WrestleMania. She has 14 right now. Charlotte Flair will get her 15th one, and she'll only need 2 more to beat the record. So it's very possible. So Tanner, I'm going to have to disagree with you, and I'm going to go Charlotte Flair on this one because it's been a minute since the Queen has had a title around her waist. Woo! Woo! Ooh. Royal Rumble 2025, the final 2 competitors were John Cena and Jey Uso. On the apron, John Cena had Jey Uso up for an attitude adjustment spot onto the outside of the arena. Both men were over the ropes, and Jey Uso climbs back into the ring off the shoulders of John Cena and pushes him down, both feet hitting the floor, and Jey Uso was crowned your 2025 Royal Rumble winner. Which John Cena got really upset, said he's going to be at the Elimination Chamber. Heel turn, this, that, and the other. We'll get to that. But Jey Uso challenged the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. For the 4th time, he has yet to beat Gunther. He couldn't beat him at Saturday night's main event. He couldn't beat him if he even did if they fought for the IC title, because Gunther held that for 666 days. He had to have had a bunch of people he fought. This is Jey Uso's 4th match at Redemption against Gunther, and this time the stakes are higher than ever as main event Jey Uso as your Royal Rumble winner and is challenging a man who many people believe is the most dominant superstar in the industry right now, and it's not even close. The Ring General has been world champion and has not even been close to losing that title. He's defended it multiple times against multiple people, big names like Damian Priest, putting them down. Everybody in his path, the Ring General retains. He's beaten the Viper, the veteran, Randy Orton at King of the Ring to even get the opportunity to win the World Heavyweight Championship. But is the main event Jey Uso hype too big for the Ring General? Who walks away with the World Heavyweight Championship? See, Dave, will it be the challenger, or will the Ring General just be too dominant and prevail at the show of all shows? This is the issue with Jey Uso. A while ago, I talked about how underwhelming the tag division is. I need my Usos back. Me too. Right now, Jimmy is out, and we don't know how long it's going to be until a return for Jimmy is plausible. But in the meantime, Jay can get a little cheddar. He can get a little gold on his waist. You know what I'm saying? He can get a little something while Jay's out. Excuse me. While Jimmy's out. In the meantime, Jay can get something on his waist. I think it's a world championship. So for this one, I'm going to go with the Yeetster. The Yeetmeister. Main event, Jey Uso wins his first world championship in his illustrious career and beats the Ring General, Gunther. Jay wins. I agree with C-Dave. This build-up has been kind of poor until they involved Jimmy into it. And now Jey Uso just has everything to fight for. Gunther's taken his twin. He's taken everything. He's beat him 3 times already. And Jey Uso, as much as it pains me to say, has the whole audience behind him to beat Gunther, which I would like to see retain. Jey Uso is just way too over right now, and WWE would do the unpredictable, but Jey Uso's the favorite. Leads me to believe that they got to put the title on Jey Uso. You've got to finish a story. This is the big upset of WrestleMania. And so Jey Uso is going to defeat the Ring General and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Another thing, though, if they would have built dang Jey Uso like they did during quarantine when he had the dang feud versus Roman. Is that quarantine? Yeah, that was, or whenever it was. SummerSlam like 2022. No, it wasn't SummerSlam. Didn't they fight in Detroit? No, I believe it was Hell in a Cell. No, SummerSlam, that's a second match. I'm talking about the first match. They had one at like Hell in a Cell. And when Roman beat him, he was given the Ulafala. They would have built up Jey Uso like that. That would have been amazing. But he's still over. Jey Uso, we'll see how that works. But we're going to get into this next match, which is the main event of night 1. And oh man, is it going to cook. We've got a tribal chief, we've got a visionary, and we've got a second city saint, the voice of the voiceless. We've got Paul Heyman betraying his tribal chief and aligning with CM Punk. Seth Rollins caught in the middle. We had all three of them eliminate each other at the Royal Rumble. Both eliminate Roman. Seth Rollins comes in with a stomp on the steel steps, takes Roman Reigns out of action for a month or two. This is probably going to be the best match all of Mania. This is probably it. Now, the Night 2 main event will be good. This right here, though, is what's going to put butts in seats and put food on the plates of families at home. It's a triple threat match with 3 of the biggest stars in the company right now. It's the voice of the voiceless, the second city saint, main eventing for the first time at WrestleMania, CM Punk versus the visionary, the revolutionary. It's Seth freaking Rollins and the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, all together in the same ring with Paul Heyman in the corner of CM Punk. Ladies and gentlemen, it can't get any better than that. Now, the favorite right now, I was reading the odds, I was reading things, I was looking on the Discord. Yes, I follow the WWE 2K25 Discord because I like to get the locker codes when I can. But that's besides the point. They posted predictions polls, and the polls and the stuff I was reading online, it's all aligning with Seth Rollins. People are thinking that Paul Heyman is going to turn on both Roman, both CM Punk, align himself with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins be the new Paul Heyman guy. However, my gut tells me differently. And when it's about wrestling, I've got to trust my gut. And my gut is saying that the picture right now is for Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to go on a singles feud and hash that out. Because Seth Rollins keeps talking about how he's going to end Roman, he's going to do this. This is the match. You can't end somebody in a triple threat. You got to have a singles feud. CM Punk, on the other hand, he's been putting out bangers, man. He tore his tricep clean off the bone, and he's still putting out more bangers than half the roster at 40 years old. CM Punk's going for that world title picture. It's only a matter of time. He's got to get up there. CM Punk is coming away with the win on the main event of night 1. The voice of the voiceless, the second city saint, with Paul Heyman in his corner, CM Punk.
I respect that prediction. He was my second option, if I were to pick. You already pretty much said my prediction. I'm going to agree with the people. For me, I would love a Brock Lesnar return. And if that happened, my prediction would be totally different. If there was a world where he can return and be the Paul Heyman guy. Because there's already a story there. It's been there since the conception of his relationship with Paul Heyman. But I don't think that's a viable option. And if it is, I'm just going to be screaming like Undertaker returned last year. It's going to be as good of a pop. That match was good. But I like my Brock Lesnar, and he needs to come back for one more run and retire. Regardless, I'm going to agree with the people. I'm going to say Paul Heyman turns on both CM Punk and Roman. And Seth freaking Rollins wins this match. He comes out on top.
So we're moving on to night 2. That night 1 card is absolutely going to cook. Bangers after bangers. But to move on, we're going to start with a match that I said Tiff and Charlotte may be the best. This could be the best technical match on the card. We've got 2 guys that are both respectively, objectively great performers in the ring. AJ Styles and Logan Paul one-on-one at Mania. Now just for a little build up, I actually don't know really what the build up is. It's kind of like, yo, I'm the new guy, I'm the youngster, you're the veteran, I'm better than you, rah, 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 and they just like, I'm going to put you in your place, girl. So I'm going to go against you at WrestleMania, and we're going to go one-on-one. But see, Dave, what you think about this? Who do you think's winning? Is it Styles? Is it Paul?
I mean, I think you said it best. I don't know where this match is going. So I'm just going to have to say that AJ's an old guy. There's not much time left for him to get WrestleMania wins. Logan Paul has a whole career to get more WrestleMania wins. I think AJ needs this more than Logan Paul. And for that reason, I'm going to have to go AJ Styles for this match. AJ wins.
I disagree. Logan Paul needs this win more than AJ Styles. AJ Styles has already cemented himself. He could be in the world title picture tomorrow and nobody would blink an eye if he loses to Logan Paul. Logan Paul, however, this win against AJ Styles is only going to put an upwards trend in his career. Another thing I was thinking is that this AJ Styles and Karrion Kross thing, it can't be over. It can't be over with the match last Monday on Raw. There's got to be some more substance, and Karrion Kross could show up on the WrestleMania card. Maybe not, but AJ Styles could get, distracted. Either way, Logan Paul's got some tricks up his sleeve. If he fights dirty, if he doesn't, if he wins clean, Logan Paul wins, and he uses his new finishing move, which has one of the greatest names ever, in the Pulverizer. Logan Paul. So I hinted this at the beginning of the video during the intro. Randy Orton does not have a WrestleMania opponent. Kevin Owens is out. He needs neck surgery. He's going to be gone for like 2 years. So Randy Orton was already slated for a WrestleMania match. Does not have it. He's RKO'd Nick Aldis 2 times in the past 2 years, fined $100,000. People think that it's going to be Nick Aldis showing up, but we're going to make a twist. For the first time ever on the predictions video, we're not going to guess a winner of this match. Our predictions is going to be, who does Randy face at WrestleMania? I guess I'd say the mark in me is thinking it's going to be one of these returns from one of these stars that were big, early on in their career. And then all of a sudden, as they were released or whatnot and left the WWE, their careers, ended up falling off. But hopefully they return in the Triple H era and do some big things. You've got Rusev, you got guys like Aleister Black, Ray Phoenix even. Heck, could have a WrestleMania match with Randy. Carmelo Hayes was a name thrown into the hat. To me, and I said this on Twitter too, don't follow my Twitter, go ahead and follow me, Taryn Davis YT. Rusev and Randy already have this history. Imagine Randy comes out, shoots a promo. Look, I need my match. I told y'all I'm having my match. I'm not leaving this ring until somebody from that locker room comes out here into the middle of this ring and fights me one-on-one. And then all of a sudden you hear, Rusev Budia, Rusev Bachka. And then Michael Cole's like, oh my, could it be? Could it be? Oh, he's tougher than a $2 steak. That's JR, I'm sorry. But Rusev versus Randy Orton, that would be a great return for Rusev and a great WrestleMania match. Even on paper, looks great. So, my prediction for this match on who Randy will face is none other than the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev.
As much as the people want it, I just don't see Nick Aldis being in the ring right now. He looks like he's in shape, but is he in ring shape? I don't think he's in ring shape yet. As much as people want it, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to agree with Tanner in terms of it's going to be one of the new guys. It's either going to be Rusev or Aleister Black, or heck, it could be both of them. Imagine it's both of them.
No, Aleister Black needs to be like with Wyatt Six or something.
This is the thing. Which one of the two has been teased the most in video packages?
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black.
Which is why it would be more of a shock if Rusev were to come out.
No. This is what they've been painting for the past several weeks. Aleister Black is going to return at Mania, and he's going to fight Randy Orton. I love the Rusev take, but if you're going to make packages of a dude that's going to return, why not have it on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? So Randy Orton's WrestleMania opponent is none other than Aleister Black.
I was going to say, Nick Aldis is like younger than like 10% of the roster.
He's like 38.
Did you see
he's
that?
Younger than Randy.
Yeah, or he's younger than Cody, Randy, Damian Priest, Asuka.
He don't look like it, but
yeah, I mean,
he looks old.
No shade, no throwing shade, no hate.
But he's in shape. Like, he's big. You can tell
he is big.
From
Randy, I'm telling you, Randy looks huge compared
big.
to him, and he looks huge. Randy's a big dude, and he looks big.
They're both big. I'm just glad Kevin Owens is in the picture.
So at the end of his NXT run, Bron Breakker was in a tag team with Baron Corbin for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And they ended up getting beat by Fraxium. Both men parted ways, and Bron Breakker ended up debuting on the main roster. Well, the USA execs over at Raw absolutely ate that up. They loved them some Bron Breakker. So, what did they do? Oh, well, let's just put Bron Breakker up. Let's put him up here in the mid-card. Let's already put him in the upper mid-card. So let's have him write off guys like Ricochet, whose contract is expiring. Let's have him interfere in matches with big veterans like Sheamus, Ludwig Kaiser, guys that are already trying to get up in that mid-card for that IC championship. And then ultimately, let's have him fight for the title. And let's have him win. So Bron Breakker won the IC title, ended up losing to Jey Uso, flopped back on Bron Breakker just so Jey Uso could have his little moment to bring him up in the main event. So Bron Breakker, with the new debut of Penta, will be putting his Intercontinental Championship on the line, not just against Penta, but in a fatal four-way against two members of the Judgment Day, in Finn Bálor and Dominik Mysterio.
If math serves me correct, I have a 25% chance of getting this prediction right. A little birdie told me that a lot of championships were going to change hands come WrestleMania. This leads me to believe it's going to happen in this match. But for me, it's too early for Penta. As much as he's won the crowd over, it's just too early for him. You could go Finn Bálor. People are wanting Finn Bálor to have another singles push and stop being a jobber and putting people over. I think he's one of the best technical wrestlers we have on the roster. But something leads me to believe that it's going to be the other Judgment Day character in this match. Dominik Mysterio wins this fatal four-way. Carlito's going to be in the mix somewhere. And we might see the end, quite possibly, of the Judgment Day. Dominik Mysterio wins. Booyaka.
Jey Uso lost his IC title, went up to the world title picture. Bron Breakker loses the IC title, goes up to the world title picture. Who's the world champion? Jey Uso. Who beat Bron Breakker for the IC title? Jey Uso. Who beat Jey Uso for the IC title? Bron Breakker. You see where I'm getting at, people? Bron Breakker could lose the title, and it'd be a-okay. Because that's what the mid-card championships are all about. Gunther set the precedent. He brought the prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. When you lose it, you go up to the main event. That is a stepping stone to put you up at the top of the ladder, to put you at the face of the company. And Bron Breakker, it is way beyond time for him to step into that main event realm. He has proved it time and time again. The execs love him. He's getting applause backstage. He's having the best highlights on the episodes of Raw with the spear to Carlito halfway across the arena and a double spear last week at Raw. But I'm going to agree with C-Dave, and I'm going to go with Daddy Dom. People want Daddy Dom to win. It's also Daddy Dom's time. And with the implosion of the Judgment Day that's been getting rumored week after week, been hinted at week after week, this is only good for that story. Finn Bálor getting jealous, Dom having a title, and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez potentially also having a title, and then being like, well, Finn, when Finn is, you listen to Finn, you win. Well, Finn, you didn't win. And then Liv Morgan's like, come here, Daddy Dom. And so I'm going with Dominik Mysterio. Booyaka. Night of Champions 2023, maybe 22, saw the debut of a new championship. Now, it had the name of an older championship that everyone loved. The Big Gold Championship, our World Heavyweight Championship. Well, that ended up getting combined to Cody's Undisputed title. So they brought it back with a different design, not the same history, clean slate. And it was Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions. And Seth Rollins won, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. And he held that title for a long time, defending it, becoming the workhorse champion that he said he was going to be. Well, he ended up getting injured, lower back problems, knee problems. He was fighting so much week after week, it was tearing his body down. It was time for a break. WrestleMania 40, Night 2, started off Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. McIntyre beat the snot out of Seth Rollins, ended up winning with CM Punk at commentary. But Drew McIntyre goes up to shove it in Punk's face. And Punk just starts beating up on McIntyre. All of a sudden you hear Damian Priest's music hit, Mr. Money in the Bank at the time, and he ends up... Senor Money in the Bank at the time, and he ends up cashing in on Drew McIntyre, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. And since then, Drew McIntyre has been so mad. He's like, I had that title in my grasp. I got screwed by Punk. I got screwed by Priest. I've been screwed by the Bloodline, and I'm going to fight everybody in my path until I get that title again. Well, he's taken down Punk. Not really. Punk beat him in that Hell in a Cell match. That fantastic match at Bad Blood. Punk's now in the main event. Well, Drew, he's trying to climb back up there. He's fighting Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight, which will be a pretty nice fight. This match needed a stipulation, and I think WWE did it right. Bringing it a street fight, giving it a good name, giving it something that's marketable so that fans can get behind it. Now, who wins? Damian Priest has been kind of lackluster lately. He's been in a big mix of things. It's like he was teaming with the War Raiders at one point versus the Judgment Day. He was doing this, that, and the other. But on the opposite side, Drew McIntyre needs this win too. It's a street fight. And man, oh man, in times like this, does WWE love to give the faces the win. For that reason, that's the only thing I can think of at the time, I'm going with Damian Priest.
I'm glad you went Damian Priest to win this match. For me, we've seen Damian Priest in street fights before, so maybe it makes sense for him to win. Wasn't the Bad Bunny match a street fight?
Yep.
There you go. What happened in that match?
He lost.
He lost. Exactly. Precedence has been set where Damian Priest is just losing street fights. He can't win them. But Drew, on the other hand, they've both been lackluster. I'm going to agree with you on that point. I think Drew needs this win more than anybody. He lost to a roll-up to freaking, Jimmy Uso one week, and he can't catch a break.
Well, he qualified for the Elimination Chamber. Damian Priest eliminated him. Then Drew McIntyre hit Priest with the Claymore, and Priest ended up getting eliminated by Cena.
Yeah, it was to set up this rivalry because...
Well, no, the rivalry was already set.
Well,
it was to build it up more for WrestleMania.
It wasn't set up properly because of the LA Knight debacle.
I forgot to add the Elimination Chamber stuff. Yes, the Royal Rumble was supposed to set up more, and LA Knight screwed up that at the Royal Rumble, but we're not going to get into that. That's beyond the point.
I think you know where I'm going with this prediction. The man that makes the most sense to me is the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre.
I'm going to tell you what. This next match, probably going to be boo-boo cheeks. I'm probably going to be taking a number 2 on the toilet after eating about 25 wings as we've been sitting there all night on the Grand Easter Sunday. Oh, it's going to be great. But Lyra Valkyria became your women's Intercontinental Champion. The inaugural women's Intercontinental... I don't even know who she beat. Who did she beat?
I think Piper Niven or something. No, they had the tournament. She beat Dakota Kai.
Yes. She beat Dakota Kai on Raw on Netflix. Thank you, Connor. And she's been beating people. I don't even know what they like about this Crow girl. But Bayley challenged her for the Intercontinental Championship. She ended up beating Bayley with a roll-up. And Bayley was like, I respect you, girl. Let's do it. They ended up teaming up on SmackDown in this big old tag team gauntlet match. They ended up winning, outlasting. They started as the first team, outlasting every other team. And now they're challenging the women's tag team champions and Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez of the Judgment Day. And so, see, Dave, who's winning?
You know I love me some Liv Morgan. So I probably won't be in the bathroom during this match. But I will probably not watch 100% of it because I know what's going to happen. They're not going to have Lyra Valkyria, Valkyrie, whatever they want to call her. Her name's been changed several times. They're not going to have her have the mid-card title and the tag team title. I just don't see it. I mean, it would be just a waste of space. If the men's tag team division's boo-boo, the women's tag team division is also boo-boo. It was the greatest decision in the world to make one tag team title. But We talked earlier about the Judgment Day potentially imploding. If the titles stay with Liv and Raquel, and Dom was to win the IC title, maybe it would strengthen the Judgment Day and get them back to former glory that we knew before when Rhea and Damian were a part of it. For that reason, I'm going to say the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez retains, and maybe we see a stronger Judgment Day come Raw after Mania. Liv and Raquel win.
Yes, Mommy Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are going to win. And yes, what you stated and what we talked about earlier is a benefactor to reinforce my prediction. However, because you don't watch the show, I know what's going to happen in this match. They have been teasing a Bayley heel turn for a good while now. And when Lyra Valkyria beat Bayley, when they fought for that Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyrie,
you don't even know her name.
When she held out her hand to shake her hand, Bayley was like, "Get that corn out of my face! Get that corn out of my face, yes, girl!" And so, and then Bayley was like, let me chill. We got a tag team match. Let me get buddy with her real quick." And so, shook all hands, yada yada yada. Bayley's gonna turn on her in this match. We're gonna have a Bayley heel turn. We're gonna have the IC title finally switch hands, get off of Lyra Valkyrie, girl. But yes, Bayley heel turn on Lyra Valkyria, meaning Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez retain. And now we're going into a match that to me has had it's gotten stale. It's been a boring build up. It's been the same thing week after week. Io Sky was qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley came out and distracted whoever she was going against. Io Sky ended up getting the loss. And Rhea said, "Look, to make it up for you, I'll give you a championship shot." Bianca Belair had already won the Elimination Chamber. And she was on commentary. And she was like, "Girl, I don't care who I face. But you know I'm going to win because I'm the EST, the greatest, the fastest, the toughest, the roughest of all of WWE. And so Rhea got in her face and Bianca was like, "I ain't touching you, girl." And it distracted Rhea. Io Sky ended up beating Rhea Ripley to become the Women's World Champion. And so it was Io Sky and Bianca Belair slated for the WrestleMania match for a while. But week after week, Rhea was like, "I need it! That is mine!" Or something like that. You know how she is. You know, this is my brutality. You know. And people are like, "Girl, Rhea done lost. Get that corn out of my face, girl." You know what I'm saying? But we're having a triple threat. Io Sky, your current Women's World Champion, with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Now, if I was Bianca Belair, I'd be mad. I won the Elimination Chamber. I am entitled to a singles match, but they've done that with Royal Rumble winners in the past. They've done that with this, that, and the other. You know, it's a good story, I guess. They teased this triple threat at the Elimination Chamber. When Bianca Belair won, Rhea Ripley came out with the championship, and Io Sky was standing behind her. Do I care who wins? Absolutely the freak not. But who is going to win? Io Sky's going to retain. There's no way Rhea wins the title again. And Bianca Belair, that she's too stuck on Rhea Ripley still. They're going to go back and forth or whatnot and see how that goes. And Io Sky is going to be defending that championship. She's going to be her good girl self. And maybe Damage Control will come back. Who knows? Asuka and Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane's been out with the injury. Same with Asuka. Maybe they'll go back to their glory days. Io Sky will be champion once again. But Io Sky retains at WrestleMania.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know what they see in Io Sky over at WWE. They make her do too much. She botches too much. She just ain't a champion in my opinion. But the story is Rhea and Bianca. You said earlier, if you're good at wrestling, you don't have to have a title for the match. So I'm thinking long term here. Triple H announced that Backlash will be in St. Louis on May 10th. What's going to be the Backlash match for this championship rivalry? Storyline.
Right.
You have two options here. And the only way you get to those options is if a particular person wins. Once you get to Backlash, you could go, okay, It's not fair Bianca has to fight for the title in a triple threat. She should have her singles match because she won Chamber. You could do that at Backlash with whoever wins this match. Or, since the story is Rhea and Bianca, you could have that the Backlash match. Regardless, I'm going to have to agree with you, Tina. I think Io retains. She's been under the radar. It only makes sense for her to stay under the radar. And when the last second hits in that match, she hits some somersault, moonsault, probably botches it. 1, 2, 3 wins the match. Io Sky wins. It sets up whatever Backlash match they have. If it's Io and Bianca, Bianca and Rhea. If it's Io and Bianca, then we'll have a championship for our Bianca and Rhea feud. Io Sky has to win to set up whatever build they want after.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the match that everyone and their mother has been wanting to see. It is the returning John Cena in his farewell tour, challenging for a World Heavyweight Championship, and a win would put him over Ric Flair. But we saw last year, Cody Rhodes and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship in what is probably the greatest match in the last decade. No doubt in my mind. To me, it's the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, but WWE has their nostalgic lens on when they were ranking those WrestleMania matches. It was, in terms of storytelling, in terms of everything, it just was perfect. But I digress. Cody Rhodes finished his story after losing the year prior at WrestleMania 39 against Roman Reigns, becoming your undisputed WWE champion. Now, this reign was a little boo-boo. I'm going to be honest at the beginning. He had that Royal Rumble match with Kevin Owens in what was an absolute classic, and it clearly showed that his reign was something. And that was the match that put Cody up as that, like, this is our world champion. So he's the face of the company. He is the new John Cena. He's doing the kid stuff, everything. He's got the John Cena schedule where he's fighting every single day, doing appearances, sleeping 2 hours a day, getting up the next morning, doing it all over again. And so John Cena says, look, you're still in my shadow. I was doing all this way before you, and I can still do it at the highest level. You are nothing but this, that, and the other. You're underwhelming. You suck. And to me, people are saying Rhodes held his own on the promos and whatnot.
John was holding back.
Cena was definitely holding back. I think Cena would have killed him if it would have been, hey, look, Rhodes, Cena, here's bullet points of your script. Here's what we need. Go out and do it. And Cena probably would have obliterated him. But Dave, does Cena win? And when we see one of our childhood greats beat the record of 17 World Championship wins and challenge Ric Flair next month at Backlash see if Ric Flair can win the 17th. The retirement now. He's in the company that shall not be named. But Dave, what do you think?
Man, I might yap a little bit for this one.
That's okay. It's the main event.
It's the last match of the card. So much has been building up to it. A tear might roll down my cheek whenever it's all said and done. I have to start with my initial thought of this match. We have not seen The Rock since Chamber. Where does he fit in this entire thing? Is he going to come back? Is Travis Scott the third guy? Is there another wrestler that's the third guy that sold his soul to The Rock? What's going on there? Me and you have talked about it. If you watch the Chamber, John was sitting in the corner about 70% of the time he was out in the ring. I don't know if he can go a full however long this main event is. I mean, it was an hour last year, wasn't it? It was a long dang time.
Like I would say, John Cena has had plenty of time to perform, but he's been filming movies and stuff,
So, the question is if John Cena is going to be able to last for however long they're expecting him to last for. Or it's going to be a freaking squash match and he wins and breaks the record. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm interested to see who this third person is. And to me, I don't think it's Travis Scott. Why the heck would Travis Scott be the third person in their little group? Regardless of whatever happens with The Rock, keep an eye on it. If you have this big heel turn and didn't break the record on the grandest stage of them all, what sense would it make? What would it be for? I just don't know if John can go the whole way. But regardless of what happens, he ends up being victorious. He breaks the record at WrestleMania 41. Whatever happens after is going to blow our minds. The winner of the main event of WrestleMania 41 is the greatest of all time, John Cena. John Cena wins.
I don't think John Cena comes out with like a new attire or new music or new entrance. I did see on Instagram the Vegas odds is like, who's going to hit a finisher first? Is it Cody with the Cody cutter? I don't know why they hit it. Or is it John Cena with the attitude adjustment? Cody's going to hit probably 14 finishers in this match, and Cena's just going to keep kicking out. And then at the last breath, The Rock's going to come in with the belt and slap up Cody Rhodes and tell the ref if he calls a disqualification, he's going to fire him like he did last year's WrestleMania. There's not much I can add. Cena won the Elimination Chamber after losing at the Royal Rumble. Didn't have to qualify. Won, beat Punk after Rollins stopped Punk after getting eliminated because he was butthurt. And Cena's been on Raw. This is before SmackDown, and we're going to see what happens there. Like C-Dave said, this is the heel turn of the century.
Ever. I would say ever.
It came out of left field like it was crazy. You got to put a title on it. You can't not put a title on it. He's one of the greats, arguably the greatest of all time. You break the record with this win. You do it at the biggest event of the year, and what was John Cena's last big Mania match? Was what, against Undertaker?
No, he got squashed by Austin Theory.
Big match.
Oh.
Undertaker at 34?
And he lost.
Yeah, lost in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Cena hadn't been nowhere at Mania for a decade. Just about. John Cena needs the win.
7 years ago? Has it been that
Ladies
long?
and gentlemen, yeah, because he was a part-timer after that.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of your main event of WrestleMania 41, one of the greats, John Cena, will win his 17th world title, and whatever happens like C-Dave after that, The Rock, whatever he does, if Travis Scott, if they all go and shoot fireworks outside. I got no clue. It's Las Vegas. They may go gambling. Who even knows? He may put the title up for gambling. I don't even know. That's not like John Cena. But still. Heck, he may come out in a Peacemaker outfit. Who even knows? It's Vegas. Vegas odds are crazy. No, that's what Mr. Danny Man would like. And Mr. Danny Man, if you're watching, hey, nice to see you.
Saying hey to our enemies.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it after almost an hour and a half of recording. We're going to end it here. It was WrestleMania 41. It's not as hype as last year. Sorry we couldn't get a big video. Schedules conflicted. It's just what it had to be. Hopefully you enjoyed the hour yap session between C-Dave and I, and that you enjoy WrestleMania. You have a good Easter weekend if you celebrate. And it's almost summer, so summertime, summertime. Just sit back and unwind, whatever. If you know, you know, Fresh Prince. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. If you're watching this video and you are not subscribed, what are you doing? If you are a WWE fan and you are not subscribed, what are you doing? WWE content all the time. We've got live streams, we got shorts, we got videos, we've got everything. We've got matches coming up. In real life matches, we do promos. We do everything you could ever imagine as a wrestling fan right here on the Tanner Davis YouTube channel. And the 1,000 subscriber special is going to be fantastic. Now, if you know, you know. It's been over a year since it's been in the making. We've got it going. Subscribe if you want to see it. At 1,000 subscribers, it's coming out. I ain't going to spoil it for you, but if you've got half a brain, I bet you could figure it out. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the video. Thank y'all so much for watching. We've got to hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Look, if you made it this far, if you made it this long, if you watched the whole thing, what do they put in the comments?
Crickets.
Put crickets, you'll be pinned. But if you put Canadian bacon, I'll reply to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. As always, my name is Tanner Davis, alongside my co-host C-Dave. Hope you have a safe, fantastic, and amazing rest of your day. We will catch you in the next predictions video. Goodbye.